All right, so we are going to start our portraits, and we're going to be using a rather large piece of black paper. And you want to draw really big with this. We're going to draw with a white colored pencil, and I'm going to start with the eyes because those are pretty much the focal point. So I'm going to go ahead, and again, they don't have to be perfectly symmetrical or anything like that, but I'm going to go ahead and start with kind of a football shape or an almond shape. And you can look at the references. You can see I'm letting it go right off the page here. And I'm going to make another one next to it. The nose is very specific on these portraits, and the nose style is kind of always the same. So I'm going to kind of try to replicate that. Use the images to kind of see what you're going to do. But again, you want to make it your own. You don't want to copy. So I'm just going to make that kind of strange shaped nose. It's just a big curve. It stops. And then it angles over like this. And then it kind of comes from the corner of the eye here. So it comes around. And then it just stops. So kind of funky. You could close it in if you wanted to. She usually leaves it kind of open. And then I'm going to kind of decide what kind of other shapes I want to do. And this is really obviously going to change the way your artwork looks. So in the eyes, there's always like this iris. That's the colored part of your eye. And then she almost does like a small regular eye inside of that. So kind of something like this, with a whole complete eye inside of an eye. Something like that. You could even put like an eyelid on it if you wanted. So on some of hers, I'm going to do a couple different styles of eyes, but you can stick to symmetrical designs if you want to. So that's an eyelid on this one. And I'm going to then do that circle iris shape inside and the eye within an eye. The references are for you to look at, not for you to copy. So I'm doing a couple of different styles. I'm thinking I'll add some cool lashes. I'm just kind of looking at her examples and making my own. Okay, I think I'll do similar eyelashes, so there's a little bit of symmetry, even though I have this extra eyelid piece on this side. And we're going to be using chalk pastels, so you want to go with bigger, bolder designs. Don't go with anything too tiny, or you're going to have a struggle to color it in. And then I'm going to section off a bunch of mine into different areas so that I know kind of where I want to do the color changes. So I might do like a line here to show that this is going to be one color section. And then maybe I want to show like where the hair is going to go. So maybe I'm going to put a line across here and do a couple different sections here. Maybe a line there. Okay, just kind of give a hair line. You could do the tops of the head. You could also have it go off the page. I'm going to do the bottom, the chin down here. So it's going to be like a big U shape. So you can see that. And then I got to figure out those lips and what I want those to look like. Most of her lips are kind of serious looking. So they're like, something like that. And again, I'm going to section her off into some sections to know where the color change is going to happen. So I'm just kind of splitting her up here. And I think I might even split her face up into a little bit more section. So I think I'm going to pull, let's see, how do I want to do this? I don't know if I want to go off the nose. I think I might go above the nose and do kind of a section here and then maybe a section there. And I could even break those down further if I wanted to. And then I'm going to give her some kind of neck. I think I'm going to leave that like that. And then for the neck, it's kind of narrow, just kind of straight down. Okay, so I've kind of got my face mapped out. Again, it's very large. And you can do other designs in there if you want to. For now, I think I'm just gonna leave it very open so I can start with the chalk pastels. So chalk pastels, they're super messy. Some things you wanna think about is how colors are going to mix as you're using them. Warm colors are gonna play really nice together. Cool colors are gonna play really nice together. Chalk pastels will smear all over your paper if you run your hand along it, so try to keep your hands off of it except when you're blending it. So I'm going to go ahead and show you. I'm just going to choose an area and I'm going to go ahead and start blending. I think I'm going to start with a warm color scheme. So I'm just going to come in and start coloring with my chalk. Again, I do not need to be coloring very hard with this. I'm just putting down a nice layer and I'll show you about blending it. Do not swipe your hand across it or you're gonna end up with a big mess. And also don't blow on the chalk. It will go all in the air, everybody will be coughing, it'll be gross. If it's all over, we'll wipe it up at the end and we'll kind of tap it off. I'm gonna go ahead and layer into this red with my next color, staying within the shape that I made for it. And then I'm gonna go ahead and I think I'm gonna fade into yellow for the next part. So layering into that orange first. If it helps you, kind of outline where the line is so that you don't go over it. And then color in it. You wanna stay within your lines and then you're gonna be ready to blend. Now, your fingers are going to get dirty. If you have to wash them, please wash them and then dry them on one of the rags at the back before you start using the chalk again. So my hands, you can see they're very dirty already. I'm gonna start with a semi-clean finger and I'm gonna start blending it just back and forth. And I'm gonna blend down into my next color. That's why you wanna make sure your colors are gonna go good together. You don't want to mix things like purple and yellow. They're going to make brown. So I'm just fading, fading, fading. And then I have a really, really pretty bright area. I'm going to tap off my chalk. And that section is done. Then I'm gonna start my next section. I would probably, if you're not doing warm colors, maybe wash your hands. If you are doing warm colors, I think you'd be safe to go ahead and move into the next section. So since my hands are already dirty, I think I'm gonna go ahead and use warm colors somewhere else, and then I will figure out where to go from there. So I think that I wanna make sure, like if I do warm colors here, that I would do cool colors here. But since I did my warm colors here, I think I'm gonna do cool colors here. And I think I'll go ahead and do warm in the eye so that it's different. So I'm gonna go ahead and start my eye. And I think I'm gonna play with a couple different colors in here. A couple different oranges. And I can always put the black in at the end. I would definitely not use black chalk at all in this artwork. We're going to use black oil pastel at the very end, very carefully to finish it off. But if you use black chalk, it's going to smear throughout the rest of your stuff and it is not going to look good. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to come in very carefully and work on my yellow. And let's see, where do I want to go from there? Sticking with those warm colors here. I think I'm gonna go ahead and blend those warm colors of the eye since my fingers are already dirty from that. And then I think I might do a cool color kind of around that. So I'm gonna come in. If you have to switch fingers because you don't want the colors to blend with each other, that's fine. Of course you can do that. And if your color's not as bright as you want it to be, you can always add more. I'm gonna put that pupil back in later, so I'm just kind of blending over it for now. And then I'm gonna go ahead and tap again. You see how much dust is getting everywhere. And now, let's see, where am I gonna go from here? I think I'm gonna go with some kind of fun, funky. I'm gonna outline first. And again, if you leave like a little black showing through, it's okay because you're gonna blend it with your fingers and most of that black's gonna get covered up. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and speed this video up because I think you have the basic idea. Again, if my fingers are dirty, either clean your hands and dry them. I'll try to remember to have baby wipes for you guys. Don't blend this blue right into my other colors, and never sweep your hand across your page or you're gonna have chalk everywhere. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and super speed it up.